Yo, it's me, Doncho. Welcome back to the Hideout, you guys, and I'm so glad you guys can make it. And we are back with the Jujutsu Kaisen review, chapter 151, Plant Preparation Part 3. Okay, Maki has fucked Naoya up as deserved. Okay, it was an amazing fight chapter. This review, I'm not really going to discuss page by page what's going on in the chapter because it was nothing but a whole bunch of fights. So really, I'm just going to talk about the analyzation, the things that I noticed within the chapter, things I found really cool, things that are going to add on to the story, I believe, and where I think things are going to go on from here. So this video is going to be on the shorter end, you guys, but I think I'm going to talk about some really cool things that you guys are going to enjoy. So bear with me. But like I always say, if you guys like this content from me, if you guys love being here at Doncho's Hideout, if this is your first time, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon down there below, all right? And there's always a card that pops up so you can subscribe right there as well. So you do that, all right? I would love to see you more if you come here. And of course, if it's not your first time here and you always come back to the Hideout, make sure you hit the comment section below, you guys. You know, I love talking to you guys, hearing from you, replying, things of that nature, and you guys talking to each other is always really cool. And if you guys don't know or you just not hearing about it, the Doncho Domain podcast is dropping this week. All right, you guys, this week, as in Monday from Mono, I will be dropping the Doncho Domain first episode podcast. So be in tune, okay? Go hit that Patreon link also in the description below. And for $1 a month, you can tune into that. I'm talking about 6 amazing series, you guys. But we're here about JJK, right? So, intro. So like I said, you guys, this chapter was pretty straightforward, okay? This chapter was just really the Naoya versus Maki fight, but we're going to analyze what made this chapter so cool beyond just the two of them fighting, okay, you guys? So the first thing I want to talk about is just the fact that Naoya is a Toji stan, which we kind of understood from our introduction of meeting Naoya. He said to Junichi, you know, your face is no good. Too bad Toji didn't replace you. And I'm like, so right then, it was kind of obvious he was a Toji fan because he kind of just called Toji handsome, right? In that moment there, that's how I kind of took that. So it's pretty obvious that he was a fan of him and that we were going to get more of that at some point. And now that we have Maki basically being a Toji 2.0, a heartless Toji, a Toji who now is actually after the Zenin clan and is going to destroy them, we're getting more of that parallel and that comparison and just seeing why Toji is so important to Naoya. And as we know, since he was a kid, they pretty much was hyping him up, you know? They were saying that he was a genius, that he'd be the head of the clan, so he felt like he was a genius, you know? Everybody's telling him that since he's a kid, so he's like, of course I am, and he's clearly stronger than everyone else considering he's able to last so long against Maki. So you can't really call Naoya a self-proclaimed genius. I'm seeing a lot of people try to say he's a self-proclaimed genius. No, he's not a self-proclaimed genius. He is a genius. I think people mistake fights in Jujutsu Kaisen when they see a character get blown out or character get beat kind of, you know, quickly, and they start thinking that this character is fodder or they aren't as strong or they aren't as good when that isn't the case. Naoya is a genius. And the fact that he was able to acknowledge Toji is someone very powerful just off of his presence alone is proof that he's a genius. You know, it's proof that he genuinely is not like everyone else and that he can understand true strength. But he still is a product of the Zenin clan, right? So since he's a product of the Zenin clan, he still downplays Maki. He still acts like you can't be Toji. You can't be him. You're just an imposter. You're just acting like him. You just have this aura that's similar to him, but it's not really him. You're not grasping the true essence of Toji. And the reason why he does not understand that is because Naoya doesn't really understand Toji. He can say that he understands Toji all day. He can claim that everyone else is small fry, they're insignificant, and that they're nothing compared to him because they didn't understand Toji's greatness. But now he doesn't understand Toji's greatness. He only sees Toji as a pinnacle of strength. He's not understanding what Toji went through. He's not understanding who Toji is. He's not understanding why Toji was making the face that he was making when Naoya first seen him. He wants him to have this really miserable face, and that kind of was the face that Toji was making, but his aura overpowered that for Naoya because Naoya can tell, you know, he has that ability to tell since he was a kid where strength is, where power is, which is why I said he is a genius, right? So that's why he says only probably Gojo could understand Toji, could really see Toji's greatness. And of course he understands because Gojo got fucked up by Toji. And that makes me wonder, does everyone else know that Toji whooped Gojo's ass like that? Like, I mean, I know Yuki knows, you know, and Geto knew, but like, do the other sorcerers know? Did they keep that kind of under wraps that Toji came and fucked shit up like that? And I'm wondering, does Yuki know just because she's a special grade and things of that nature? Or maybe they were just information that was out and about in the Jujutsu world. But the fact that he says except Gojo, maybe that is why he says that, because Gojo fought Toji. Or maybe he's just saying that because Gojo's the strongest, and the strongest, of course, will recognize strength, right? You know, there's levels to that, many layers, but either way you look at it, now he's making complete sense what he's saying, but he's also contradicting himself because he's not realizing that Maki is Toji, you know? She's probably a more dangerous Toji because she gives no fuck about y'all, you know what I'm saying? She's not even trying to go about on her own. She has no heart no more. Mai has been taken from her, so now she's just out here to fuck shit up. And so throughout the whole fight, when he thinking he just beating her ass, she's really just clocking his FPS. She's literally just clocking his FPS as she's fighting him, so she can understand the ability. That's most likely what, not most likely, but that's definitely why she wasn't using the weapon Mai. Okay, she was definitely just using hand to hand because she had to break down how he was moving. She had to break down the 24 FPS. She had to figure out it was 24 FPS. It could have been 60. It could have been 120, you know. But she had to figure out it was 24 FPS. And if you are confused on Naoya's ability, all Naoya is doing is using frames per second, aka frames, aka movement. Okay, every time you're like how you're seeing me move, right? Those are frames. So he's doing 24 frames per second. 24 of these per second, right? That's his speed. So that's how she's able to gauge what he's doing. And the more he keeps his technique active, the FPS is kind of raising, is what I'm assuming. That's why his speed's going up, because his FPS is like raising. He's getting more frames in per second. I think his max may be 24. It may be 24 because at the end, Maki says you move at 24 frames per second. That's how she was able to catch him and hit him. Or she's using the 24 frames per second as a base. I'm thinking the 24 frames per second is just the base. If you understand that he's moving at 24 frames per second and you can actually see it, which now Maki kind of can, and kind of feel it, now that she's more like Toji and doesn't have any cursed energy and now has that natural, you know what I'm saying, other senses feel to her to pick up what's going on. Okay, now that she's able to do that, she's able to realize, okay, he's moving faster and he's hitting this many frames per second. So she's able to catch him like counting down, hit that turnaround and hit that punch. It was just really well done. Akutami did a really good job at that. So pretty much that's how that chapter goes, right? It's basically Maki breaking down Naoya's FPS as she's watching him fight, and now you're having this internal monologue of him wanting to be the strongest, him wanting to reach that level of Gojo and Toji, him wanting to be a pinnacle, him being at the strongest with them. He wants to stand at the top with them. It won't be you, Naoya, it'll be Megumi, but he wants to stand up there with them. And so that's all pretty much the chapter breaks down to. So it really leads me into more of the analyzing, where now I'm sitting here looking at Naoya, Maki, and Megumi and wondering where this trio is going. I kind of hope Akutami does something with that trio. If Naoya doesn't die next chapter, or if he isn't confirmed dead next chapter, he could have been fucking rocked to sleep full death this chapter, because his face is definitely caved in, y'all. Like, it's not just a regular punch. Maki's fist print is inside of his face. He's like, it's literally imprinted, and it kind of looked like an eyeball of his came out. So he could be dead right now off of a punch. So everybody's saying he's not dead, but he probably is dead. Like, there's a chance he is dead right now. There's a lot of blood. His head kind of smushed. I look like one of his eyes out of socket. Like, he could be dead, or it could be heavy, heavy damage. But he'll never be the same with one eye gone. You know what I'm saying? Like how Nobito just having one arm gone was fucking him up. So that one eye gone, he'll never be the same. And on top of that, if he does get some type of redemption, or he gets some type of coming back and isn't dead and he does some other stuff, I think it'll literally just be on some servant shit. I would love for him to just become a servant of the new founded Fushiguro clan, because I think a Fushiguro clan makes sense right now. I think a Fushiguro clan who is based in being the opposite of what the Jujutsu world is would be really fucking cool. And I think it would really just bring everything Toji does full circle. And when you think about it, the Fushiguro clan can be the clan that's been forced into the world of Jujutsu, you know? Megumi being born with the Zenin clan inherited technique. You know, Toji could be the not the founder, but he's the one who inspired it to be founded. So, you know, he got forced into it being, you know, having the heavenly restriction shit, but being a Zenin and them forcing him to try to fight and him getting stronger, become the sorcerer killer, stuff like that. Maki can be adopted into the Fushi girl clan, and then she could be brought in, and, you know, we already know why she's forced into Jujutsu. Same situation as Toji. And Sumiki, she's forced into Jujutsu through the whole ghetto / Kenjaku thing. So really the Fushi girl clan could be a really, really cool concept that could really just be standing for a clan of people who are forced to kind of be in the world of Jujutsu and kind of are against, you know, the way the world of Jujutsu runs. And Megumi's whole thing is saving people even if it's not fair. And Jujutsu sorcerers don't run like that. Jujutsu sorcerers don't care about saving people for real. Jujutsu sorcerers are really just about getting the job done. But Megumi has this ability of saying, I am going to save people, but I'm also not trying to let people think I'm a hero. I'm a Jujutsu sorcerer for show, but I'm going to prove my existence is worthwhile by saving people. And I think that's something that he could embody into a future Fushi girl clan. That'd be really, really cool to see. And of course, Megumi doesn't want to be a head of a clan, but I think he doesn't want to be a head of a clan like the Zenin. But I think him becoming a head of a clan that follows him in his own way, him doing his own thing, and he has some more freedom, I think he'd feel a little differently about that. Also, it makes me wonder if Megumi does meet Naoya, is Naoya going to, you know, judge Megumi based on Toji? Is he going to think, you're Toji's son, are you powerful? Which he kind of has to think he's powerful. He got the inherited technique, he has a domain expansion. Like, Megumi's really, really strong, okay? Like, so I think now at this rate, Naoya will have no choice but to acknowledge Megumi, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see how that goes. What I want to add one last bit to this is that now that we have Maki so powerful, we have Maki so strong, doing so much, I do kind of want to see another Maki Megumi team up like we saw in Goodwill. I would love to see now Megumi, who has a domain expansion, you know, is more about imagining how to win, is now seeing a bigger version of himself, combined with Maki, who is now a bigger version of herself. You know, it's kind of getting that Toji Megumi team up we never got. And I would really love to see that. I would really love to get that type of breakdown and just see how those two are going to act together in that type of light. It'll be freaking fantastic, okay? Like, a Maki Megumi team up happen ASAP. I need it. Sooner than later, culling game match. But I think we're going to get a lot of Maki Panda link up and doing what they're doing. So, you know, we're going to leave that there. Otherwise, you guys, thank you so much for coming back to the Hideout. You guys, chapter 151 was amazing. It was really epic. There's a lot of other things I could have talked about, but I really just want to talk about the things I felt was really important. We could have talked about Naoya being a Toji fanboy and how he probably has a crush on him, but, you know, that's more so jokes. We could have talked about how Maki is pretty much Toji 2.0 and that now she has to figure out what she's going to do now after all of this. And maybe she's leaving Naoya alive because he might know some secret area where Ogi was keeping the weapons. You know, stuff like that could be brought up, but I feel like more that's way too big a speculation, and Naoya probably is mostly dead. So we'll just see what's going on once we get this next chapter, and I'll give you guys even more of a breakdown and things of that nature, okay? But thank you guys so much for coming back to the Hideout. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and you hit that comment section down below. And if you haven't got your Uniqlo Jujutsu Kaisen merch, you're missing out. It looks amazing, okay? I'll save people whether or not it's fair. This looks amazing. It's great. I think you guys should hop on if you haven't yet, okay? And you're going to see me the next few weeks wearing the shirts I bought because I bought all of them, so. But it is me, Doncho. Thank you for coming back to the Hideout, you guys. Peace.